See that? See, just when they think it's time, man. After a 2 minute for the premiere, bam, we hit them with another 30 seconds, Holmes. Oh, man, I'll tell you, life is good, man. Welcome to Pick Six, where we cover 6 teams in the NFL, that being the Raiders, the Cowboys, the Niners, the Packers, the Rams, and, of course, our winning Steelers. Man, oh, man, oh, man. You know, I know we just covered 6 teams here, but week 2 was banging, dog. Like all the games. I mean, which one went into overtime? Was it the Seahawks and
the Seahawks and Lions?
Hey, man, this week was like pow, Sergio Holmes. I was just like, damn. Like usually you gotta, you know, it's a long season, somewhat, right? You gotta kind of sprinkle those games here and there, man. But they just boom, dog. They just hit us with a gang of them. Like I was watching the early games, right? Yes, I got the YouTube NFL package, and I was just like, damn, I was trying to keep up with everything that's going on. And then I see a game goes into overtime. I'm like, damn. And then the later games, I'm over there trying to watch a movie with my beautiful, crazy local wife. At the same time, trying to keep up with the games, being like, holy smokes, all that did. Wow, what a time, man. What a time. But yeah, those picks, Holmes, I'll just tell you, it's just this going off to be a good season. But Eric, how you doing, man?
As a Steelers fan, I'm doing pretty good.
Okay.
As far as this, I'm not doing great at all.
Wow.
You're having a great time having a 8-2 record in 10 games, because we haven't. If anyone who hasn't been paying attention, we haven't actually done a pick six yet, and we're not going to do a pick six this week either, because there's only been 5 games that we covered. I don't know if anybody's noticed that.
Right, because there's been the game, you know, teams that we covered playing each other.
Right.
Yeah.
So you're 8-2, and I'm at 3-7.
Yeah.
The reigning defending champ is at 3-7.
It's that championship, it's that pick six championship hangover, man. I told you about it, man.
But this is where it turns around. This week is where the champ comes back, and we're gonna get it started with the New York Football Giants walking into Santa Clara to face the 49ers. Primetime Thursday night football. The Giants are 1-1, coming off a comeback win against the Cardinals. And the 49ers are 2-0, coming off a win at home against the Rams. What do you have on this one, man? I just feel like this is so one-sided. I don't know.
Yeah, this game's taking place in just a little bit, man. This is super one-sided. This is very, very one-sided. I'm not sure, and maybe you got a little info on this. Why are certain teams playing more than one Thursday night football game? Steelers is one of them. We're one of them. We're playing 2 Thursday night games a month apart from each other.
It's absolutely ridiculous. First off, I don't really even like Thursday night football games. You know, I'm not a big fan of it. Teams don't really get to rest until after the game. I just feel like you don't get the best games on Thursday nights. I'm not a fan of it. And for the Steelers to have 2, I don't know what's going on there, man.
The Niners are having 2 as well. You know, I was talking to a Niner fan today, and he told me, I'm not sure if you heard this or not. I'm not really sure we got this info, or if it's just his guess. I didn't really, you know, dissect his brain, but he said they're trying to get more eyeballs on Thursday night football. So they're putting certain teams on there as opposed to having like the Jaguars on there, as opposed to having the Browns on there, as opposed to having, you know, these teams, man, that don't have real strong fan bases. So, and I think it sucks. Sergio, I think that's like, wait a second, man. Okay, I understand the whole prime time. That's pretty feeding, you know, as a fan, you know, to see that. But in all honesty, for the team themselves, for the players, I don't really like it, man. Especially if you're going to get some of your main guys hurt. If one, you know, again, Niner fans. I mean, you guys are going to play in just a second here, man. But if you guys get hurt, man, this is something to keep an eye out. I'm definitely going to keep an eye out. One Thursday night football game, fine. Two of them, I'm really keeping a close eye out on that second Thursday night football game if any of our guys go down, man. So, but it's a landslide. That's Niners. Right now, to me personally, Niners are the best team in the NFL.
Right. Just to piggyback a little bit off this Thursday night thing, the whole point of Thursday night was for every team to get a primetime game.
Yes.
And I just feel like not having that kind of just takes away from even Thursday night at all.
Right.
So, I mean, but as far as this game goes, Niners should dominate this game, should beat the Giants convincingly. I'm going Niners, going 3-0. They just look unbeatable, man. I'm not going to keep on trying to jinx the Niners, but they're arguably the best team in the NFC.
What's the over-under on how many points they beat the Giants from? 20, over 20, or under 20?
I would believe it'd be 20 plus.
Wow.
I think it'd be over.
Wow. So they're going to smash them?
They should.
Wow.
They should. But
okay.
it could be looked at as a trap game. Maybe the Niners are thinking that way, and maybe the Giants are coming in, extra hungry for this.
There's definitely a such thing as a trap game, yeah.
And we know that as Steelers fans.
Mm-hmm.
But next, we have the New Orleans Saints going into Lambeau Field to face the Packers. The Saints are 2-0 coming off a win against the Panthers. And the Packers are 1-1 coming off, in my eyes, a surprising loss against the Falcons. This is the home opener for the Packers. What do you got on this one, man? It's kind of a tricky one here.
I'm old enough to remember when the Saints were called the Aints. I remember Saints fans going to Saints games putting paper bags over their head because the Saints for many years were a complete laughingstock for many years, right? And then came in good old Drew Brees and, changed the whole atmosphere there, and they became a winning team. Shout out to Reggie Bush as well. He came in right around that time and did his thing. But now it's kind of like, okay, where are the Saints? Where are they at, man? Where do they land? Where do you put them in the 32 team roster and all? They're 2-0 right now. To me, look, I like the Saints. I don't know. I think for me, pretty much the colors. I think they have the best jerseys in the NFL. The Saints.
Best colorway.
Yeah, I do, man. Most people like the Raiders. When we're talking about jerseys, the Saints, man. I like the Saints. I kind of want to see them do good, man. Very quietly. I don't hear anybody talking about them. Again, the season just started. This is just week 3. Going into Lambeau, look, Lambeau's Lambeau, man. It's still tough to play there. However, the weather has not yet gotten to Lambeau yet. And I think I still think they're trying to find themselves, man. Losing Aaron Rodgers. I say the Saints go into Lambeau and take care of the Packers. Would I be surprised if it were the other way around? No, I wouldn't. But I think the Packers, I think they're still trying to figure it out without, the living legend of Aaron Rodgers.
I was actually just waiting for your answer on who you were picking, since I'm so far behind in these picks in just week 3. I put 2 fingers up in just week 3. I'm 4 games back. But I was watching the Packers highlights from last week. And I did kind of like what I saw from Jordan Love. They did wind up losing the game. I don't know what happened there. It seemed like they just kind of fell apart. But Jordan Love didn't look terrible as far as what I saw. And I feel like both of these teams, even though the Saints are 2-0, I just feel like they both don't really have a true identity yet. Saints have been kind of going through it ever since Drew Brees left. And Packers just barely going through it. Home opener for the Packers. I think they could squeeze out a win here. I can see it going either way, though. I can see it going either way. I'm just going to go Packers.
Okay. Saints have an identity right now. It's in the winning column.
So far, hey, Hey, it's early. It's not even week 4 yet. All right.
Go get them, Saints.
Wow. We just have like so many, or we have another game that's just wow. We have the Dallas Cowboys going up against the Arizona Cardinals. The Cowboys are 2-0 coming off a win against the Jets. Cardinals are 0-2 coming off a loss against the Giants. The Cardinals are supposedly going to try to tank this season. I don't know how bad they're going to try to be. So what do you have on this one, man? I just feel like this is another easy one to pick.
Yeah, look, man. It's football. You got to get out there and play the game for a reason, right? If they're gonna try to tank, I don't think they have to try that hard.
No.
The Cowboys. Okay, I said it. I said last week. I said the Cowboys are gonna ground the Jets, homie. They're gonna ground the Jets, and they did that. As the Cowboys are that team in the NFL where you either love the Cowboys, you're a Cowboy fan, or you hate the Cowboys. I fall in that very small percentage where to me they're just another team in the NFL. But I'll go ahead and tell you guys this, man. The Cowboys, in my opinion, are a force to be reckoned with. Okay. Right now, in my opinion, the AFC is looking a little bit weak. If I'm thinking, hey, man, who's going to win it all? I'm looking at NFC teams right now, man, as opposed to AFC teams. So, but again, it's early in the season. And in my opinion, the Cowboys are in that discussion. Now, are the Cowboys going to be the Cowboys? Of course, I don't want to get too ahead of ourselves. We're like, oh, man, they're going to make the playoffs and lose. We don't know, right? But the Cowboys, at least for right now, man, the foreseeable future, they're badass, man. And I think they have no problem with the Cardinals. I got Cowboys.
I'm going to go back to that statement that you just said. You're saying the AFC is looking weak. Here's how I see it.
Right.
Here's how I see it. NFC, how many good teams are there? I could pick out of just a few. The 49ers, of course, the Eagles, the Lions, and I guess the Cowboys. Who else is there that you could see like contending?
Okay. That's enough for me because I don't think there's an AFC team right now that I would pick to beat the Niners or to beat the Cowboys. There's probably some decent teams in the AFC. Okay, so I get what you're saying. It's like, okay, outside of those teams, the NFC teams kind of suck, right?
Right.
I get that. And in the AFC, the teams are a little bit more competitive with each other. But I don't see any elite teams, though.
Okay, but that's because they're all facing each other. Like, look, the AFC has the Kansas City Chiefs, of course. We gotta judge on where we're at. Yes, it's only week 2, but we have to judge them on those 2 weeks, man. Okay, fine. The Chiefs, the Jaguars, the Dolphins, the Bills, the Bengals haven't looked good yet.
Yeah, no, they haven't.
but I know they're gonna find themselves.
I hope they don't.
Neither do I. But there's so many good teams in the AFC where I just feel like their records are a little bit misleading. That's what I think. I just feel like the AFC is a heck of a lot more competitive than the NFC.
Wow. Okay. So they're just misunderstood.
For right now, yeah.
Okay.
But Cowboys, come on, man. This is just an easy pick. Cardinals are trying to tank, which, like you said, I don't think it's going to be too hard. Cowboys go to 3-0. Enough said on that one. Next, we have Monday Night Football. The Los Angeles Chargers. The Los Angeles Rams walk into Cincinnati to face the Bengals. The Rams are 1-1, coming off a loss against the 49ers. The Bengals are 0-2, coming off another divisional loss against the Ravens. What do you have on this one?
That was actually pretty good, man. The Ravens and Bengals was actually pretty good. Uh, I was watching some of that game as well. Yeah, I was trying to keep up with the Rams, and you know, okay, so they're going into Cincinnati. Um, I look, I think the Rad. Okay, so something like what you were saying earlier. Okay, is that their records are a little bit misleading. I kind of think that a little bit about the Rams. I think the Rams are a little bit better than what they are right now. They're just showing what that they're mediocre, I guess. I think they're a little bit above that. I don't think they win their division. I don't favor them to go, to the NFC Championship game or anything like that. But I do think they can make some noise, and I think they will. Going into Cincinnati and putting Cincinnati at 0-3. No, I don't think they do it in this game. At some point, Cincinnati is going to wake up. And 0-2, I think, was it last year that Cincinnati started 0-2?
I don't remember.
I think Cincinnati started 0-2. Somebody fact check me, man. But I think Cincinnati started 0-2. And look what they did, right?
Yeah.
Look what they did. They got screwed over due to a coin toss. Let's not revisit that. But while I do believe the Rams are going to get a little bit more mojo and start winning racking up some good wins and possibly start impressing some people and get people talking about them. I don't think this is the week to do it. I think Cincinnati 0-2, man. I just don't see them going 0-3. And if they do, man, they're in for a world of hurt because just them competing in games like they did against the Ravens is not going to be good enough, man. And if you start 0-3, son of a gun, dog. But I think it'll be a good game. I think the Rams will be right there neck and neck with them. But I think they go to Cincinnati and come back to Los Angeles with a loss.
I think what's kind of holding the Bengals back a little bit is the fact that Joe Burrow was hurt throughout the offseason, and he tried to have a speedy recovery, and he didn't look good week 1. Okay. You could argue that, or you could just argue that the Browns defense is just that damn good. Okay. Holding that offense at 3 points. I mean, you could make an argument for either or. But do I see the Rams going 2-1, or let me rephrase that. What do I see more? The Rams going 1-2 or the Bengals going 0-3? I can't see the Bengals going 0-3, man. They're too talented of a team to go 0-3. They went up against two pretty good teams, man. I mean, the AFC North, I'm going to tell you, is probably one of the better divisions in the league. I'm not just saying that just because I'm a Steelers fan. I truly and firmly believe that.
When you talk about all the teams in the division, yes.
Right.
Yes. Is there an elite team in there? Probably not, but they're all good.
Right. So I'm going to say the Bengals come out victorious on this one. I think they start to, find their groove back and, get to 1-2 here.
Okay, you know what? Let me combat this real quick, man, because now we both got the Bengals. I'm going to switch my pick. You know what? I'm going to go Los Angeles Rams, man. Because the Rams going 1-2 does have me scratching my head as well. Yes, it's got me scratching my head. The Bengals going 0-3. But I'm like, you know what? Yeah, I do think the Rams stand a really good chance. So I'm just going to go the opposite way. I'm going to go Rams.
Okay.
I go Rams.
This is a part of my plan on getting back in the picks.
But Ram away, Rams.
Anyways, we have the main event. We have Sunday Night Football. We have the Pittsburgh Steelers walking into Las Vegas to face the Raiders. That's still weird to say for me, but both teams are 1-1. The Steelers are coming off a win against the Browns, and the Raiders are coming off a devastating loss against the Bills. There are a few key players that might not play for the Steelers. Ogunjobi's questionable. Minka Fitzpatrick is questionable. A few things on the Steelers. I know Devontae Adams is questionable. I think that he might play, though. Certain things. But what do you have on this one, man? A big rivalry game here.
Yeah, this is they're not, division rivals or anything like that. But when you go back in the days, man, just Steelers versus Raiders has been a pretty good rivalry from way back in the days. I'll fire Canada. Okay, I gotta talk about this. Fire Canada. Fire Canada. The place in Heinz Field. The place erupted with that chant. And then everybody tried to pretend like they didn't hear it. The only one that acknowledged it was Coach Mike Tomlin. Everybody else, they were asking the players and everything. They're like, oh, you know what? I didn't hear it. I was paying attention to the game.
Well, it's like, how are you supposed to answer that question?
Yeah, I get it, man. But Mike Tomlin answered it, and he was just like, you know what? We respect our fans. Our fans challenge us. He answered it like a politician, man. It was good. He didn't say like, you know what? I didn't hear. I had my headset on. It's just fun. It was just funny, man. Okay. Here's what's not funny. Okay. What's not funny is the Raiders got smashed. Looked terrible, looked awful. Yes, I get it. You're playing against the Buffalo Bills. All right. The Buffalo Bills are a good team. No doubt about that. All right. Raiders should be doing more than that. Okay. My Steelers get a victory. All right. A win's a win, and I'll take it. But look, Holmes, I mean, there were so many things that went wrong. So many things that went wrong. I mean, son of a gun, dog. Every time the Browns handed the ball to Chubb, it's like, hey, he just cuts right through. Like, D-line is nowhere to be found. It was just ridiculous. The play calls were ridiculous. When they went for the 2-point conversion and didn't convert, I was like, that's not really needed. But you guys called that play for, what was it, quarterback sneak?
It was just a handoff to Najee with.
Yeah. That's right. And the ball got fumbled and everything. Then no, I'm talking about when freaking Kenny Pickett, I think was on 4th down or something. They were looking for a quarterback sneak or something like that. And that was like one of the worst QB sneaks I've ever seen, man. Look, both of these.
Oh, it was
teams,
an option play. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. It was an option play. That was terrible.
Both of these teams. Look, I'm a Steelers fan, homie, hands down. All right. But both of these teams got some issues. All right. I'm glad it's Sunday Night Football because, they both are on each other's level. But son of a bastard, dog. Just look, get the win. And by the way, there was a controversial call or non-call at the very end that everybody's talking about, like, oh, well, wait a second. That was pass interference. I'll get to that in just a second, but I want to hear from you, man.
Well, first off, man, that Matt Canada chant, I've seen enough from him. So offense has looked terrible. Okay, I'll give them a benefit of the doubt just a little bit. They did play 2 really tough defenses to go to start the season, but the play calling is horrible. Look, they never used their fullback, man. That 2-point conversion that they had, they could have used their fullback,
Yeah.
It was at the 1-yard line. They could have used their fullback, who is actually a pretty good fullback, man. They never use them. 3rd and 10, they run a screen pass to the running back. The only reason why they got the first down was because it was a great run by Warren.
Mm-hmm.
It was a terrible play call on 3rd and 10.
Right.
I'm not impressed from Matt Canada at all. He's in his 3rd season. I don't know. No progress has been found. This offense has been, I want to say terrible, but like average to below average for the past 3 years since he's been coordinator.
Yeah.
Even with Big Ben.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like something's got to change here. At least when they had Todd Haley, at least I could say, they were actually still putting up some points, questionable decisions at some points of the game, but they still put up some points.
Right.
But my goodness. And then Tomlin did kind of irritate me just a little bit with time management in the second to end off the first half.
Mm-hmm.
When they got the sack, right before they kicked the field goal, the Browns kicked the field goal at halftime.
Mm-hmm.
He just let the clock go down to like 20 seconds. Didn't even give the offense a chance to, go out there and do a little something.
Right.
I don't like that much either.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, my goodness. And look, defense, except for the run defense has not been good. Okay? Even with their backup running back, they're still putting up some pretty good runs over there. I think they had like a 69-yard run or something like that. But my goodness, 2 scoring touchdowns for the defense. They looked great outside of the running game, and they do face a pretty solid running back in Josh Jacobs this week. So they're going to have their hands full.
And let me say this. If it weren't for the defense scoring, we would have lost
2 times.
2 times. Okay, what do we have? 25 points?
26.
26.
Yeah.
14 of those were from the opposite side of the ball. So before you talk about like, whoa, wait a second, look how much points they put on. The defense put up more than half of those points up there.
Yeah.
So, hey, look, man, shout outs to TJ, shout outs to the defense, man. Look, even at times they looked a little bit weak, but TJ Watt had quite the heck of a game.
Him and Highsmith definitely had a great game, man. But I mean, look, the Browns are not the Browns from before. The Browns are a good team today. Most definitely.
So, for anybody who's just gonna say like, oh man, you guys played the Browns, you guys struggled against the Browns. I'm telling you guys this, man, the Browns are not the Browns from before. I'm not gonna say they're great, but they're gonna rack up a couple of good wins, man. So, but Canada, I'm done with them. Raiders, what do you see from them?
Again, I saw the highlights for this game. They actually looked pretty solid or like the first, I don't know, 5-6 minutes of the game. And then Jimmy G throws a pick, and that's when the Bills just started taking over. I don't know where I don't know where the Raiders stand, man. I really don't. Again, it was against a really solid Bills team. I don't know what to make of it. The defense did not look good for the Raiders.
Yeah, no, they didn't, man. Look, I definitely got the Steelers. I will be in Las Vegas. You gonna be in Vegas?
We'll see.
Wow.
Wherever.
Wow, man. Time's ticking. I'm not wearing a watch, but wow, clock's ticking, man. I will be in Vegas, man. Okay, to cheer on my beloved Steelers. But it should be a good one. I'm glad there's Sunday Night Football. I don't like what I see from the offense. Okay, defense cannot keep winning the games like this. Offenses, they need to put up more points. They definitely are. Again, even though the defense has some great plays, it's not too much of great. I mean, look, how many turnovers? Okay. The defense went ahead and got the ball back for the offense numerous of times. And how much did the offense really do with it?
I think the only thing they really did was like a field goal, maybe 2.
That's what I'm saying.
The Steelers had 5 turnovers, 4 or 5 turnovers in that game. And the Steelers had 2 turnovers. They gave away 2 turnovers. And one of them was just like a mechanical mistake, really. So
let me go ahead and get to that controversial non-call at the end. All right. Now, okay, if I were a Brown fan, would I be pissed? Yeah, I would have. Yeah, I would be pissed. However, getting the emotion out of it. Was it a pass interference? Yes, I believe it was. Was it a catchable ball? No, it was not. If he would have caught that ball, he would have been way out of bounds to catch that ball. Go back and watch that play because everybody's just looking at the interference. And I agree. If it were a catchable ball, throw the flag because it's passing interference. But if you see where the ball was thrown, where he had to be at, he would have to be a good 10 feet out of bounds, out of the sidelines to catch that ball. It was not a catchable ball. So I don't have a problem with it, man. And I know people are going to say, well, because you're a Steelers fan. No, Holmes, go ahead and take a look at the play. Okay, it was not a catchable ball. To catch that ball, he would have been way out of bounds to catch that ball. So, there's that, man. But
my only problem with this game is, for some odd reason, I know we said this last season when the Steelers played the Raiders.
I know what you're saying. I know what you're going to say.
The Steelers always struggle with a couple of teams. Okay, let me break it down. The Patriots. I can't think of any other teams. Well, the Patriots and the Raiders. Okay.
Yeah.
I can't think of any other teams right now. The Patriots and the Raiders. Those are the teams that they just struggle with for reasons I don't know. I mean, the Patriots were always good. Now they're not the same team. Raiders, I really don't know why they struggled with them. There was a good period of time where they just weren't good, and the Steelers still would lose to them.
Yeah.
Specifically on the road, the Steelers could not beat the Raiders in Oakland. Yeah. However, it's not in Oakland anymore. It's in Vegas. Which is actually the first time the Steelers are going to Vegas. Look, I do think the Steelers have what it takes to win this game. The only thing that's concerning me, it's against the Raiders.
That is very true, man. Historically, the Steelers have always struggled with the Raiders, regardless of the team. How good is this team? How good is that team? Doesn't really matter, man. The Steelers could be having the greatest season, and the Raiders could be having a horrible season. And for one reason or another, the Steelers always struggle with the Raiders. So,
yeah. But as far as my pick, I'm obviously going to still go with the Steelers. I really liked what I saw from the Steelers defense, except for the rushing. Okay. They need to really work on that. I will take into consideration that they had to play Nick Chubb and Christian McCaffrey, two of the better running backs in the league. But now, man, just need to step up, especially that offense. Although George Pickens, he really did look good on Monday night. Okay? And with Deontay Johnson not being available this week either, this is his time. This is his time to really form into the star that a lot of us Steeler fans see him, how he could possibly be. And I think he can, man. He had that one, 71-yard touchdown? I think this is where he emerges into a star, man.
It's definitely going to be a hostile environment. Should be fun. Should be a good game, man. I don't want it to be. I just want it to be a one-sided for the Steelers, but Absolutely. Should be a good game, man, in hostile territory. Go Steelers.
Go Steelers.